It starts off, Geach Cook, that's me. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, oh yeah, this is good. Oh, listen. We're pleased to have with us today Mary Sarah. In September 2012, she recorded Heartaches by the Number, a duet with Ray Price, which will be released July of this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Miss Mary Sarah.
First of all, it's loud. First of all, I want to thank Miss Jenny Price for allowing me to be here today and bringing my parents here today to celebrate Ray, and Mr. Gene Wolf over there for letting me come up here and talk, and Betty and just everyone here today. Many of us have stories of being with Mr. Ray, and whether it's a conversation or a personal experience or just his music, which I know has touched all of us in many different ways. And what's so special is I spent one full day with Mr. Ray Price. And that was the day he cut a record with me, Heartaches by the Number. And it is a day that I will never forget. Sorry, I could tear really easily, just because I remember when he came into the studio. And it was my first time meeting him, but I had listened to his music for years. I played around, originally from Texas, and played around the Opry, sang his music. And so when he came in the studio, of course, I'm shaking in my boots, just like I am now, just even thinking about it. And I just remember being so nervous at first. And but when he came in, there was this overwhelming feeling of home. It's kind of hard to explain, just this calmness that he carried with him, that welcomed you with open arms. And it's just something that I'll never forget. He sat down and sang the song 3 times through. At the time I was 15 and he was 85. And there's a big age difference there, but it was one of the most magical days of my life. And one thing that I told Janie is that he changed my life. I was no one, and he was generous enough to hop on the album and sing with me, and so I just want to thank you so much and thank him for what he's done for me and my family, because I'll have this for the rest of my life, so thank you.
Very exciting about him making that connection between the generations. You want to hear that song? You got it, Gilbert? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Heartaches by the Number. I don't know how y'all can't help but dance.
Heartache number 1 was when you left me. But I could hurt this way. Heartache number 2 was when you came back again. You came back and never meant to stay. Now I've got heartaches by the number, scars by the storm.
Yes.
Every day you love me less, each day I'll love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love I can't win. But the day that I stopped counting, that's the day my world will end.
good. Congratulations. Oh, we're looking forward to this record coming out. That's wonderful. Congratulations, Mary. Also, let's give a big hand to our sound man here, Gilbert Cedillo. He's done a great job. Gilbert's father played piano for Ray for how long? 15 years? Yikes. They were just children together. And ladies and gentlemen, all right, hold your seats. Our next guest artist started singing when he was 6 years old while singing at church with his stepmother. He's developed his own style of country music, even though his fans sometimes compare him to his brother, country music singing great Charlie Pride. Here we have Mr. Stephen Pride. Stephen.
Good afternoon. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Eugene and Betty and also the wonderful people here at South Fork Ranch Complex. And before I start singing, I have a quick story I'd like to tell, and I'd like to be thankful for your wonderful husband. I got a chance to meet him. I sat on his bus. We had a conversation. Gene got me to get some time with him. He wasn't feeling very well that particular day, and I just wanted to thank him so much for giving me his time. And he had some special words for me. He told me that keep pushing and keep going. Just keep going and don't give up. And I've been trying to attempt to do that at this point, and hopefully the Lord bless me to continue on. This first song I'm going to do for you. This first song I'm going to do for you is from a CD I recorded. It was written by Bob McDill, Bucky Jones. It's called Perfect Picture. If you like it.
Come on in, close the door. Have I seen you here before? Well, a girl like you can sure light up a room. Pardon me, do you care if I just pull up a chair? There's a thing or two I'd like to say to you. Well, there's someone who left me that I've waited for so long. But just tonight I realize she's not coming back at all. And funny thing, how you walk in at just the right time. 'Cause you're the perfect picture to fit my frame of mind. Looking back, now I know I should have done this long ago. So I came in here to make a brand new start. Now don't go, take your time. Got a whole new state of mind. And tonight you look just like a work of art. Well, there's someone who left me that I've waited for so long. But just tonight I realize she's not coming
Funny thing how you walk in at just the right time. 'Cause you're the perfect picture to fit my frame of mind. Yeah, you're the perfect picture to fit my frame of mind. Thank you. Thank you. For those of you who may remember the great Waylon Jennings from Littlefield, Texas, I'm a huge Waylon Jennings fan, and I never got a chance, the opportunity to meet this gentleman. I love his music. I'd like to dedicate to his name and his music. It's one song that I think got in the top 40 or I think top 20. This song I'd like to play for you right now. It's called Rose in Paradise. Hope you like it. She was a flower for the taking. Her beauty cut just like a knife. He was a banker from Macon, stole a lover all his life. Bought her a mansion on the mountain with a formal garden and a lot of land. But paradise became her prison. That Georgia banker was a jealous man. Every time he talked about her, you could see the fire in his eyes. He said, I would walk through hell someday to eat my rose in paradise. He hired a man to tend the garden, I wouldn't hurt while he was gone. Some say they ran away together. Some say that God never left alone. Now the banker is an old man. That mansion's crumbling down. He sits all day and stares at the garden. Not a trace of her was ever found. And every time he talks about her, you can see the fire in his eyes. He says, I would walk through hell someday to keep my rose in paradise. Now there's a rose in the garden. Its beauty cuts just like a knife. They say it even grows in the wintertime, that it blooms in the dead of the night. Thank you. Thank you. I had the pleasure and opportunity of performing an opening, actually, at the Longhorn Ballroom for this next artist. This song was originally done by Jack Green, but I'd like to do the Ricky Van Shelton version of this song. I hope you like this song. It's called Statue of a Fool. Hope you like it. All right. Thank you so much. Somewhere there should be for the world to see a statue of a fool made of stone. The image of a man who let love slip through his hand, and then just let him stand there all alone. And there on his face, oh, tears should be placed to honor a million Jesus Christ. And the hurt in his eyes would show, so everyone would know and can see is a broken heart inside. So build me a statue and go build it high, so that all can see. In stride of the world's greatest fool, and then after me, after me.
Oh, mighty good, mighty good. All those years in church finally paid off there. I'm proud of you. That's great. See, could be a lesson for all of us. Check it out. Thank you, Stephen. That was very good. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to introduce and bring to the stage Pam Seal and Jim Halfpower. With Crossroads Live, they'll be doing a television interview with J.D. Price. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Pam Seal and Jim Halfpower. Oh, they go over there. Where you want to go? I got some more stuff here that says peach. I gotta read this. I'll get in so much trouble if I don't read it. All right. Pam and Jim.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, I know y'all done a lot of interviews over the years, and I remember September 2006, you interviewed Ray Price here at the Gene Autry's 99th birthday party. Remember that right here at the South Fork Ranch? And it was fun. And Ray was dynamite. I think we have a clip of that interview that you did at that time. Gilbert, you have that clip? Well, let's see it.
I did good on this.
Jim, do you remember what you said and what he said? Well, that's right, that's right.
And did
what
you
happened?
know that this man right here saved Chuck Norris's life?
Saved his life.
Now, I was there. And the reason I'm telling you this is because what happened was I had a fight scene with Chuck, and I was beating him up.
Bad, he was bad too.
And this guy pulled me off of it. Remember that?
No. But I know you wouldn't story about anything. Here we go. And so what else did we do?
Actually, he was the sheriff, and I was in jail.
Where? And then tell about our television career.
Oh, yeah, you were. You asked me if we interviewed anybody. I said we did interview you.
Yeah.
The ratings went way down. and nobody showed up at the Gene Autry Festival.
That's right, nobody. Now,
No.
Gene Autry was
Gene Autry wasn't even there.
99th birthday.
But his horse was.
There you go.
We thought he was a champion too.
He was a champion.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Which one? He had 5.
He did?
I love this man. Well, I want to tell y'all before they find this thing, I have something I want to tell. And this is aimed at Miss Jane, who I met 2 weeks ago. Had a wonderful time with her. Well, hello there. Anyway, I knew I was in trouble this morning when I got here and I reached in my pocket and I found my notes of my interview with Alex Cord. And if any of you know who Alex Cord is, he's a wonderful actor, writer. And these 2 gentlemen back there who don't claim to know me, Kid and Buck, their publishing company published his last book. So, anyway, he's a wonderful writer.
When did you do the interview with him?
When was that? When was the last interview?
I think it was 2012 when they had it.
No, it was a couple of weeks ago. No, we were in Gainesville.
No, that
May the 10th.
May the 10th. And
I'll get you key cards next time, Jim.
I made the cue cards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm doing real good on this interview.
You need all the help you
Oh, my God.
get. I'm sorry, the computer ain't now.
What, you want us to go ahead and bring up Miss Jane? And talk to Miss Jane? I know she's got other things to talk about.
Sorry, the computer ain't it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Miss J.D. Price.
I'm going to pull on you what I did to Mrs. Alex Cord, Susanna. I want you to tell all these wonderful folks out here the love story. How did you meet her? Where did I begin? Which time? Well, let's start with the first time.
But the first time Ray and I met, the first time that Ray and I met, the first time that Ray and I met. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm a little nervous as you all can tell. You okay? And thank you for helping. The first time that I met Ray, I was working as a model in Dallas, and Ray had come to town to play golf with one of his friends. And I pulled up in front of his room to park my car to get out to go inside to do a show at the Conquistador Room at the Marriott Hotel on Stemmons Freeway. And I just parked my car there. Well, I started to step out, and then I looked through the window, and my goodness, there was this good-looking man sitting inside, and he was facing a mirror. He was facing the mirror against the wall, and I was seeing the back of his head, but his face at the same time. And our eyes met in the mirror, and he had his hairdresser there getting his hair done. And so his hair, you remember the old pompadour hairstyles where they glue them dry? And he was having his hair, and he jumped up out of the chair, and he started doing his hair like this, and he ran outside, and he said, "Hi." And I said, "Hi."
That's a good way to start a conversation.
Well, we didn't talk. I mean, that was it. And so I went on in and did my show, and he went on and did his show, and all day long I'm looking for this guy. All day long I'm thinking, oh God, where is he? Well, we never met that day. And so it was just a few months later, I got a call from the man. His name is Buck Fowler, and Buck was Ray's road manager. You'll remember him, Tom and Billy. And he and I had met, and his wife Neva and I had become pretty good friends over going to parties with all of these movie stars. I was going to be a little actress, and he put an end to all of that. and so they called me, and Buck said, "Janie, I'm in town," and he said, "I have someone I'd like for you to meet." And he said, "I know you're wanting to be a singer, and you're playing guitar, and you're traveling around," and he said, "I have someone I think could help you in the business." And so I said, "Oh, okay." And so I met them, and he introduced me to Ray, and neither of us remembered that we had met. So he invited me to go with him on a trip down to Wichita Falls. He was working that night at the auditorium there at the high school. And so I'm in the back seat with Buck, and Ray's in the front seat with the same hairstylist who was doing his hair. He was also his chauffeur, Cedric Fontenot. And we were about halfway down there, and Ray had his rearview mirror down, and he kept looking at me, and I kept looking at him, and I'm thinking, gosh, this guy looks familiar. And I'm thinking, where have I met him? Where have I been? And someplace about halfway down, Fontenot and Ray turned to each other, and they both at the same time, Fontenot said, "She's that girl, Chief, she's that girl!" And we both remember, he opens up his glove box, and he pulls out this envelope, and he has written on that envelope my description, everything about me, my make and model of my car, my license plate. He said, "You don't know how many times I have come back to Dallas and circled in the parking lot of this hotel." So that was the night I met Bill Mack. Bill Mack was the MC that night, and that was the night that I met Bill and Cindy, and we all became fast friends, and well, I rode home with him that night, and 45 years later,
Beautiful love story.
we never separated. From that moment on, we were together from that moment on.
Stories I keep hearing about Ray. Well, I knew Ray not well, but I got to know him, had lunch with him a few times. And the stories I keep hearing about his love for animals. I keep hearing it. Everybody talks about it. He loved animals. He couldn't see a dog on the side of the road without bringing him home.
You want to know all about the dog story?
Tell me.
Well, when I was asked by these wonderful people here to go out and help promote this record, I had never been out in front of the public before, many, many years. Ray had moved me to the farm way back in the 80s, and I had not been out in the public. Look, this beautiful lady over here. I had not made any public appearances, and I was so nervous. And I stayed on the farm and took care of all of Ray Price's projects. Now, Tom, you and Billy know how many projects Ray Price had. And he loved animals. His love for animals was probably almost equal to his love for music. And at one time, Virgie, my sister Virgie's over on the front row, everybody. I wouldn't have made it through all of this without Virgie. We at one time had a rescue farm that we had 125 dogs.
Wow.
Absolutely, absolutely. Every place he would go, riding up and down these country roads, any little animal that he saw abandoned, he brought them home. And they were always injured, they were always hurt, and so we had to go, we had our program that we put them through where we would take them to the veterinarian. They always had mange, they always had fleas, they always had just terrible looking little animals. And we completely restored these animals to life. And then Virgie, with the help of Virgie and a huge crew that we had working with us, we adopted these animals back out into the community. And so I'm real proud of that.
About her favorite flower. I hear he liked to raise roses, plant roses and raise roses. Is that right?
Absolutely. If you drive by the front entrance to our farm, you will see a beautiful display that he himself did plant. He chose the roses, he planted them all, he pruned them all. We were not allowed to touch his flowers. Yes, he loved roses. He loved, his favorite, of course, was the yellow rose of Texas. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about this wonderful album? This last
Absolutely.
album that you
Absolutely.
recorded. What a beautiful piece of work. Gentlemen,
Right.
ladies,
Janie,
involved in this.
I wanted to say that with Beauty Is, I hope I can talk like this.
Don't you start.
I know, I brought a box of Kleenex over here and get us two together. We bonded immediately. And of course, Ray Price, what an honor to be here today. The legend, the music legend, over 50 albums. I stopped counting at 338 singles that he did, and that's a lot of work, a lot of hours, all of the awards that he made. And you know, as much as we, the Ray Price fans, and everybody in here loves Ray Price and is somebody who's been close to him, as much as we would like to think this last album, that he said he had one more album in him to do, was for the fans. That last album was for you. Beauty Is. And so that's why we're here. And through all of the chemotherapy, through everything, the struggle of making this album we talked about, his focus was getting this album done as his love letter to this beautiful lady here, 45 years of marriage. That is a romance story you don't hear very often. And if you haven't gotten a copy of the album, you really need to get that with Ray Price Connection, Ray Price Music Connections.com. And tell us a little bit about when you first heard that this album was done for you and how it made you feel.
Well, of course, I didn't know that's what he had done. And we had just left his rehab, and we thought we were going to get to go back and do chemo once again. And Fred Foster called Ray just as we were leaving the facility, and he said, he had just finished the master mix, and he said, it's in the can, Ray, we've got it done. He said, I think you're going to like what we did. And he said, now, would you please let me speak to Janie? And that was very unusual because Fred never, he never talked with me. He always talked with Ray. And so he said, Janie, how does it feel to be the most loved woman in the world? And I said, what? I'm sorry, what, Fred? And he said, how does it feel to be the most loved woman in the world? And I said, what do you, I was driving, I said, oh, I've got to pull over. So I pulled up into the Walgreens parking lot, and I gave him my complete undivided attention. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, Ray told me that he dedicated this song and this entire album to you. And it just did. It just did.
And I know one of the other things we discussed that's so dear to your heart and was very dear to Ray Price was the keeping alive the traditional country music, its roots, and that you've got a new campaign that you're going to be launching called Boots on the Ground. And of course, he was military, loved our nation, loved God. Those World War II guys we were talking about, just a different breed of cat. And he didn't want the real, true, traditional country music that lost. And so as part of a tribute to him, tell us a little bit about Boots on the Ground and what your plans are with that.
Well, as you said, Ray was so afraid that we were going to lose the traditional country music that Tom has talked to you about and that Dallas is talking to you about. And as a matter of fact, I think we are in danger of losing that very music. And we all are going to have to come together and fight for this music. And again, these wonderful people sitting on this front row who have just dropped into my life by the grace of God. Steve Popovich, this wonderful young man, this has been a labor of love for him. Brittany told me how many hours and hours he has put into this project. And we need help. Ray said we cannot save country music by using this digital age. Now he said that can happen with the new country music, but he said we're going to lose our music if we don't get some boots on the ground and get out there and go tell the people that to support these artists. Stephen Pride, my God, isn't he fabulous? This wonderful violinist, this young man over here, Tony Ramsey. Texas has got a treasure cove of talent that has safely been untouched and perhaps overlooked. And Tommy Ritter, she's doing what she can. We have all got to come together and we've got to fight for this traditional country music. And we're going to lose it if we don't. So we've come up with a campaign called Boots on the Ground, a revival of traditional country music. And our hope is that we'll be able to take this campaign across the country and go out and actually talk with all of the radio stations, and do interviews, and reach out to the grassroots people. Ray Price was a Marine, and you guys know you can't do anything without getting out and put your boots on and get dirty and get out there and go see people and talk to them and remind them of what it is we're losing. It's an era, it's a time, we're losing this wonderful treasure of these people have left us. And I need your help. I mean, Ray Price asked me to do this, and I swear I have no clue what I'm doing.
Good job. I'd like to say one thing. I have a friend of mine that's in the audience, who you all just heard a while ago, Mr. Stephen Pride, and he once told me not too long ago, if you remember this, Steve, he said, God told me I was just too country for country. Remember that? I want to say one thing to you, Mr. Pride. Keep doing what you're doing. That's what Ray said.
Well, Jamie, I want to thank you for a great segue. We have a presentation here from Rick Cavender at Cavender Boots, and he used to pick up rocks there on the racetrack at Ray's place, and he wants to present these boots to you. And they are Lou Casey. What are they made out of, Gene? Unborn fish or something? What are they made out of? They're awfully soft.
Oh, how pretty! Oh, how pretty!
That's some boots for boots on the ground.
Oh, they're beautiful. There we go.
And Jamie, also at this time, Mike Cavender, who did I say? Mike Cavender is the one who gave those. I don't know who I said gave it, but it was Mike. Anyway, we have another presentation here from Lynn Howard, Conroe, Texas, to come up and make a special presentation to you, ma'am. It's Lynn Howard.
This is a surprise, right?
Yes.
This is such an honor for me, and I want to read this the way that it was written. Janie, we have a very special presentation for you from photographer Dave Clements in our area, and also from Ray's friends and fans in Conroe, Texas. As you probably know, Charity Productions, which is Betty and Jean Wolf, presented many concerts of Ray's at the historical Crichton Theater there in Conroe. So let me tell you, and all those, by the way, were sold out if I remember correctly, which we really, enjoyed. Let me give you a little background about this particular presentation. When we lost George Jones, the possum, back in April 26th of 2013, the Rolling Stones magazine asked Merle Haggard to write an article about George Jones, and which he, of course, readily agreed to do. Now, Merle's final words in this particular article said, and I want to quote, "There's not many of us singers left. There was me, Ray Price, Willie, and George, and we lost a part of our quartet. We have for you a small token of our love and respect for your husband, and this is a matted copy of the article along with a photograph of George Jones right here. And what makes this presentation even more special is that this is a limited edition copy, whose original was signed by George, Merle, Willie, and Ray. And now that you have this copy, I will also share that the other copies reside with the Hag, Willie, George's family, and now you. So those four. God bless you, Ray, and God bless you.
What can I say? Got it! You see what
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Very nice. Lynn, yes, ma'am?
I want to thank Mary Sarah, her mother Patricia, and her dad for being here.
Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We do thank Gene and Betty for having us here today with their production company, Sherry. Thank you very much, Gene.
You betcha. Thank you, Jim. All right. Each cook. That's one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Ray Price went to Nashville in 1952. He met and roomed with his good friend Hank Williams, Sr. Hank Williams died on January 1st, 1953. Ray Price took the Hank Williams Drifting Cowboy Band and went on the road. After his honorable discharge from the Marines in the 1950s, Ray Price created his own Texas band called the Western Cherokee Band. In 1954, after struggling with his own identity as a singer and trying to discover his own style of country music, he decided to take the name of both bands and combine them into one band, which he named the Cherokee Cowboy Band, and became known as the Chief of the Cherokee Cowboys. Before Ray passed away on December 16, 2013, one of Ray Price's friends, fan and country music singer Ken Garrett, talked with him about a tribute song. And he was inspired to contact his friend, singer and songwriter Ron Canute, to help write the Song of the Cherokee Cowboy, which was recorded by Ray Price's friends Curtis Potter and Willie Nelson. We're very pleased that Ken Garrett, Ron Canute, and Curtis Potter are here with us today, so we would like them to come up and stand with us as we play the DVD of the Song of the Cherokee Cowboy. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Ken, Ron, and Curtis. Curtis is not here, all right.
No Curtis today.
No Curtis today. And the song is, I Wish I Was 18 Again.
The Cherokee Cowboys.
Oh, the Cherokee Cowboys, I was wrong again. It's written down here.
Right here.
All right, there you go. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
When the neon lights come on and the dancers take the floor, they lose their heartaches by the number. makes them feel alive. Songs of the Cherokee cowboy give them a way to survive. Songs of the Cherokee cowboy will always be around. Wherever there's a heartache, a thing called sadness can be found. They come out for the good times to lose a burning memory. The songs of the Cherokee cowboy show them a way to be free. Still sings like no other ever heard. And he takes us along with every song, the master of each word. The soft rain is falling, and we all say goodbye. Songs of the Cherokee cowboy will live on and never die. The songs of the Cherokee cowboy will always be around. Wherever there's a heartache, a thing called sadness can be found. They come out into the nightlight, 'cause it makes them feel alive. And the songs of the Cherokee cowboy show them a way to survive. Songs of the Cherokee cowboy show them a way to survive.
Y'all really captured it in that. Tell us a little bit about creating this song.
Well, Ken called me up and said, I want to do a tribute to Ray Price. Wanted to start with For the Good Times. Wanted to end with For the Good Times. Wanted to be a medium shuffle. I want to use some of the titles of his songs. And I said, is there anything else? Of course, all that was left to do was write the words and music, and it came out real good. And thanks to Ken and his love for Ray Price and music. And if you don't think he is Ray Price's greatest fan, just look at the shirt he's wearing. We're very proud of our song, God Bless Ray Price, and thank you.
Well, thank you so much for doing it. I tell you what, it's a good one. It's a really good one. All right, what else do we have here? Oh my goodness, we're getting close to the end of this program. I was having a good, sir? Song 4. That's what that means.
You missed song 3.
I did? Was it good?
Oh, yeah. I wish I was 18.
Was it good for you?
All right.
I think Gilbert's going to give us 2. He dropped the album now. Gilbert's going to give both of them.
Good.
in Dallas, an old man chimed in, and they thought he was out of his head. And all being young men, they just laughed it off when they heard what the old man had said. He said, I'll never again turn the young lady's head. I'll go running off into the wind. I'm 3/4 home from the start to the end, and I wish I was 18 again. Oh, I wish I was 18 again, and going where I've never been. Now old folks and old oaks standing tall just pretend. I wish I was 18 again. Now time turns the pages and life goes so fast. The years turn the black hair all gray. I talk to some young folks, but they don't understand the words this old man's got to say. Oh, I wish I was 18 again, and going where I've never been. But old folks and old oaks standing tall just pretend. I wish I was 18 again. Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
Now for the last song from the album, I Believe.
I believe for every drop of rainfall, the flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer will still be heard. I believe that someone in the great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry or touch a leaf or see the sky, then I know why. I
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to close today with a personal message from Ray Price, which was written several weeks before his death. He says, "I love my fans and have devoted my life to reaching out to them. I appreciate their support all these years, and I hope I haven't let them down. I'm at peace, I love Jesus, and I'm going to be just fine. Don't worry about me. I'll see you again one day." Excuse me. Good. Anyway, we want to thank everyone for being here today and hope you all enjoyed Charity Productions tribute to Ray Price final album release reception. If anyone would like to purchase a copy of the final Ray Price album, beauty is you can buy one on your way out. And we'd like to announce that there's a large group of you that's going to be going to Love and War. We said that, so check in with the folks if you are going. It's going to be fun. And ladies and gentlemen, Ray Price was a United States Marine. Today is Flag Day. And before we leave today, we would like to ask Mary Sarah to come up and sing our national anthem to honor the United States flag and commemorate the flag's adoption on this day in 1777. And please stand. And the flag is a flag salute's being made by Richard Hall, retired U.S. Marine, and Jackie Dean, Lady Marine Corps Auxiliary League.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So, till we meet again, good luck, God bless, and we'll see you at the Crossroads. Let's go, Dan.